Alright, just move there in. I was going to do some more wood stuff. I'm not quite ready to do sewing stuff, but it's late and my arm is a bit tired. And it's been, one of those days. So we'll do some Lego. I picked this up recently. I thought, well, I should get like a reasonably modern set. And this is the cheapest thing that I could find. So this is what I got. Well, there's another one that's slightly cheap, slightly more expensive that I'll probably get soon. Because what the heck. But I don't think I'm going to be getting any current Lego, except I'm going to buy an advent calendar at some point. Yeah, well, I'm not going to get anything. I did get a Lego. Oh, hold on, I'll show that at the end of the video. I did buy some other Lego today, which I've already got, and it was cheap and it was second hand. We can have a look at it to see the quality of it. But we'll do this one, which was not second hand, it was brand new. I know it looks like it's second hand because it's being squashed a bit, doesn't it? Someone was filling in the packet to see what it was, and then they're like, oh, hold on a second, this isn't a collectible minifigure. Not that they're not that cool, and I do remember, like, this actually reminds me of like an early season series collectible minifigure, the skier guy with the hat and the, well, a couple of things, like the scuba diving guy, the scuba diving guy, the scuba diving guy. So I've got actually a very big Antarctic set that I've already done, but I've got another one of those. I might do that again because it was quite fun doing it the first time, so I'll do it again. But this is not the one. This is from a newer series of Antarctic. Sorry, take this away for a second. And return with it slightly less crinkly. What was I going to say? Yeah, look, I'm surprised by the fact that they seem to have done like at least a second season of Antarctic or icy things, because, sorry, I'm yawning. It doesn't seem like, with the city themes, it always feels like they just sort of shift things around each year. But like they might have like the forest police, and then the jungle police, and then the orange themed Antarctic series. I don't know if it's Antarctic, maybe it's Arctic. I say Antarctic because I live in the southern hemisphere, and that's what comes to my mind when I think of snowy things. Not that I've ever been to the Antarctic, though that would be nice to do one day. I do know people who have been there, and I think they thought it was nice. Well, they went there for research purposes. But I've never been there, and I've certainly never been to the Arctic. Then maybe that's like a slightly more possible thing to happen. I don't know. One day I'm going to go travel around the northern hemisphere, hopefully on a bicycle, if I can get my legs to not get ill, not get any problems. This is what I'm a bit worried about my knee. It's like, oh no, what if it's going to turn into some sort of prolonged injury that I can't get over, and it limits the amount of cycling that I can do, because otherwise I'm perfectly fine. But it seems to be getting fine, and having looked up things on the internet, cracking knees seems to be fine as long as it doesn't cause any pain, and it only causes certain pain sometimes when I'm not using the right kind of bicycle, and it's not particularly severe or anything. Sometimes it can be very poppy though, and like my knees have always cracked when I've bent them, impressively so, and sometimes, but not quite so much as recently. Like now I can just basically crack every time I move my knee, as opposed to once in a while. But then some days it just doesn't crack at all, and it's just like, oh, okay. But enough about that. But I will talk about running. I did go for a run tonight, even though my leg had not actually completely sorted itself out. Which sounds like a dumb thing to do, because it's exactly what happened beforehand, and that's exactly why it got worse, and that I should have waited. But I didn't run the same way. I ran old school style, which is hitting the back of my heel on the ground first, as opposed to the ball of my foot first, which is what I normally have been doing for, like, I don't know, 8 years now. It's so high impact, like, my goodness, you just smash against the ground. But this does not look anything. This looks so weird here, having like this, like a little chimney and a roof. That's what I'm thinking of when I'm looking at this thing, a chimney and a roof. But yeah, it's very high impact, and that's why I stopped doing it, because it was just like bang, 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 and it's very hard to get the to get enthused to go running sometimes when you do it that way. Whereas when I run it on the balls of my feet, it's like, you know, that you're using your arch of your foot as a spring, and it's just so much better, and you can just bounce off, and I can just run whenever I want, and I'm just always enthusiastic to do it. But it's hard on your ankles, and my right ankle in particular doesn't like it, and I keep getting like random injuries that take a long time. But when it's fine, it's fine, and when it's not fine, it isn't fine. I think it's actually partly due to the fact that I just never wore bare feet when I was a kid, and my seemingly bizarre obsession to never stand up from a sitting position by using my hands. So I always just raise up without using my hands, by specifically using my right ankle to sort of leverage up a bit. And I've done that since I was a kid, and it's sort of those sort of things combined. It means my ankle slightly fused differently, I think, to my right one, and you can feel it. I can feel it. Like, and when I go rollerblading, it shows up. This is looking kind of it's like as a hot rod car. So I'm not really talking about the Lego here, am I? So this is just not going to be me talking about Lego. So I'm a big advocate of people going barefoot and not standing up without using their hands, which looks impressive, I'm sure, but it's just not good on your ankles. Especially when you're a kid. When you're an adult, do it. It's fine. But when you're doing it as a kid, it's going to just change the way that your body grows, and that's going to cause you problems later in life. I suspect, this is my theory. And the reason, of course, that I stand up that way is because when I was like really little, I heard my dad say, it's not possible to stand up without using your hands, or something like this. I don't know why he said that. I can't remember. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do that. And so I worked it out, and I've been doing it ever since, and I almost can't stop. It's just a second nature thing. It's not that hard. I don't think he meant that way. I'm sure there is some way that it's impossible to get up without using your hands, but getting up from your legs folded position on the ground without using your hands is pretty easy. I have no trouble doing it at all at my age. Which is the thing. It's like, if only I had some weird little pain from getting older that specifically had no impact on any part of my life except to stop me from getting up from a cross-legged position without using my hands. So I'm just going to try. I don't think it's going to help anymore. But then my point is that I've changed the way I run. It's harder impact, but it's still possible to run fine. I don't have a problem. I just got new shoes, and they're the older kind of shoes that I used to wear, which specifically are to help when you're doing that kind of running. So I don't mind doing it, and I can do that for a while, and that will sort of like help my ankle heal up, because it doesn't hurt when I do that on my ankles. It's not actually my ankle that hurts, it's kind of like some other part of my leg. It's like very hard to tell where it actually is causing me problems. It's just one of those pains. If someone said, so where does it hurt? It's like, I don't really know. I really can't say. It's somewhere here. I like the fact they've got a sticker, like I'm going to say that. It's the sticker. I don't think that was the symbol they used in the previous. So we definitely are going to have to do this Arctic set that I've got. That's way bigger than this one. And came with lots of huskies. Which is precisely the reason that I got it. In fact, I think I got 3 of them, and that way I got lots of huskies. I got quite a few. Like, I got obsessed with getting all the sets so you can get little dogs. One of them came with 4 of them. And so I've got a few. And a polar bear, I think, in there. 1 or 2 polar bears. So I don't. Oh, well, there are some more exciting ones in this series. So this is okay. It's going so far. It's going. This looks like a little spaceship thing. But it's a fun build, and you get this piece here, which is not a piece I often get. I normally get the other way around. In fact, to be honest, I didn't even know there was one that went this way. Normally, I regard this piece as having this bit on the bottom, and it being like not a hanging down piece, but a sticking up piece, if you know what I mean. Though I can't. Well, that's actually really. I mean, that's a kind of interesting. Like, you could use that for some cool things, I guess. I'm glad I have that piece. I feel happy having that piece. Actually, I've just realized that I mainly hold the thing with my right hand, and then I do all the work with my left hand. So this is probably why it's reasonably good to do with my arm is hitting Like, it's typical, of course. So I started off this morning and I was like, wow, my arm is actually really getting better. The end is, but I have to just keep focused. I can't do anything stupid. I've got to keep just taking care of my arm, extra special care for at least another week or two. We aren't there yet. It's got to be really, feel really good before I can start using it normally. Which is what I did some coding, not too much, just like 30 minutes. And I didn't type properly. I just used my fingers and stuff, but it still doesn't seem to be too happy. It probably was a dumb thing to do. I don't think I've done anything bad. I think it'll be fine tomorrow. I think it definitely is improving. And I've got some interesting stretches that help. And I've got an exciting keyboard coming in the mail, which I think I mentioned, a way too expensive keyboard, which might help. And I'm going to kind of change my mouse usage. And I thought I might build some, I was going to try and find some toy pedal things to put on the floor. And to use pedals with my feet instead of to do the left and right mouse button, so that I don't actually press the buttons on the mouse, because I'm really it's really the mouse that I feel gets to me. I feel it's the mouse that's causing all the problems in life. So if I can reduce my usage on the mouse, but I ordered some cheapy side mouse so that you don't have to tilt your hands like this. I think like a lot of this is don't put your hands down like that. It's just not good. And of course you might be thinking, well, I won't ever get that. That's not my problem. I can do whatever I want. I play video games all day long, or I type all day long. Well, it will get to you at some point if you're not careful, I think. Right, I think a lot of people, I don't really know, because I don't really work with people who type a lot, or I don't really discuss it. So I don't actually know how common it is for people to have problems. I should just actually ask everybody I know. It's like, hey, here's a conversation I've just for some bizarre reason never ever had with anyone. Who has RSI? Repetitive strain injury. I'm surprised a lot of people don't know that term. But that's actually the one thing, right? So there we go. This is a very vicious looking tool, and this is very old school. They are going to have to change this. Are they ever going to change this? It's very hard to even identify. Like, I mean, walkie-talkies these days don't really look like this, and I don't think walkie-talkies really look that much like this. I guess they did when these first came out. It's a very strange piece, but there you go. Alright, and we've actually got extra pieces, so I'm wondering, what have I done wrong? I've done something wrong, because there's this thing here, and it doesn't seem to have plugged into anything. Where is this supposed to go? Oh, wait a second. I've completely forgotten to put it. It goes. Does it? It does. It does. It does. It goes here. Alright. So that makes that a bit better. That's an embarrassing piece to have left over at the end. Alright. So we've got that done. And then the next page is to put this thing. It's just going to go. I feel like that should spin, but it's not going to spin. Why should that spin? It's got this thing to spin. So we've got some spinning action going on. Alright, I picked up today Star Wars The Last Jedi X rental, so for $2. So I'll watch that again. Where does this thing go? At some point soon, because I'm reasonably excited about watching the next movie. It goes right at the back. I only find out because I can see it there. What is this a picture of? It is like some waypoints on a map, I guess. I'm guessing it's a map thing, or it's like pinging, and it almost, like, I think it looks like a map because it looks like it's contour lines, but then it's not actually contour lines. It's just like weird things. So alright. Oh, actually my arm is hurting. Oh, I feel bad now. All I had to, what does this attach to? Oh, it attaches to the front, not the back. I kept thinking it attached up here and it went like this, but no, it goes over here, which is a bit unique. So that closes down. Oh, it closes nice, and they've got their little beanie on. I was talking to a kid a few days, yesterday actually, and they were doing, like, trying to spell words or something in a book, and I'm like, trying to indicate a hat, and I'm like, a thing you wear on your head, and they're like, beanie. It's like, no, there's everything you put on your head, and they're like, other beanies, and it's like, no, there's other types of hats. It's a hat, it's a general term. I don't know that makes any sense, it won't, but it was a thing that happened. So there we go, there is the, whatchamacallit, it's quite fun. Oh, I remember there's another model like this where the things move around like this, and it's kind of get it all the strangest positions. Going for a walk in the park. La 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 la. It's kind of cartoonish. Do 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 do. You got to have those legs alternative like that. I think that's how it would look if you're a quadrupedal animal, like a dog. They walk like that. Do 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 do. And swap thing over. You could. The good thing about this one, you can make a funny stop motion. I've done it wrong there, haven't I? Whoops. You could make a funny stop motion video with this thing, like walking along like a dog, or a cat, Not a bunny though. Bunnies don't walk like this. You can make one when they do walk like a bunny, couldn't you? You have basically a huge array of options for comical jumping video. Walking videos. It's got this thing here, the gator. I made a joke just about hunting for gators or something recently, didn't I? You know, that kind of like little swampy hovercraft thing that people have in, like, I don't know, Florida or something, or some place where there's alligators. I don't live anywhere near where there are alligators. I think I didn't even know the difference between alligators and crocodiles. I keep wanting to look it up. I think they have crocodiles in Australia. Whee! This is far too amusing. They need to have a version of this that you can't shift around. Like, these things just need to be fixed. Plonk. Alright, that was quite fun. What else is in the series? Is there any other pictures of the stuff and the other things in the series? No. How boring. Is anything on the box? No. What else am I missing out on? Alright, okay, thanks for watching. Like, share, buy, and subscribe and that kind of stuff. And bye!